Everything's all good. The first tenants have just renewed their contract for another year. I was like, I want to buy three in a year.
Take the step,
Yeah.
take the plunge, you'll be
Yeah.
okay. Things will work out. I remember you sending me the picture of you being in the second house and showing me the first house down the road. And I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
this girl's not messing around at all. When you go up to like 35, 40% of equity, I think you should be a bit more aggressive with it and use the money and go and buy another one. You're going to benefit more from having two times appreciation than just the one and two times the rental income. So even the high interest savings accounts,
Yeah.
like inflation's normally not far off the interest that you're getting on that money. And when you put it into assets or buy to lets, then you get much more of a return, don't you, compared to what you'd be getting. It's nowhere near the same.
When I saw it, I put in an offer and it got declined. And then I put in like a second offer and I was just like, I'll just leave this on the table kind of thing. What I needed from you was just to be like, you can do it.
Yeah.
I just needed like that push and for just someone to just be like, you get it, you'll be okay. I'm
Yeah.
here if you need me.
Of course, you don't have to, I guess. I know you probably do still work very hard, but it just gives you that extra comfort blanket of like, okay, if I wanted to not work as many hours,
Yeah.
I kind of could if I wanted to. And a lot of people don't have that option. A third of a lot of people's salary coming in passively, which is a really privileged position to be in. And that's all because of the decisions that you made 18 months ago, which is great. Welcome back to Luke's Properties YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be interviewing one of my success students, Megan. We started working with Megan around 2 years ago now, and since then, she's bought two buy-to-let properties on the same street in my investment area, South Wales. There's loads of value, tips, and gems in this episode, so make sure you stay tuned. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Hello.
Hello, stranger.
How's it going?
Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, thanks. I'm all
Long
good.
time, long time, long time.
I know it has been a long time. Sorry, I'm out of breath because I just walked all up the stairs.
Not you being out of breath when you're constantly
I
going on.
know, shock.
How's everything been for you? Okay?
Yeah, everything's been good,
Mm-hmm.
kind of.
Kind of. I'm excited to hear all about it.
Yeah, it's been busy. I mean, it's also all really like quieting down now because I was going to Wales like every single weekend for like over a year,
Yeah.
um, doing up those two
Oh,
houses.
DIY Meg.
DIY Meg, yeah, Bob the Builder Meg. Um, so it was a lot, and it's all really calmed down now, which is
Yeah.
really tenants are in the houses, which is
Good, good,
paying their rent on time, which is
good. Always good. What we want. But I guess the best place to start would be to tell your story a bit more from when you first started realizing you wanted to get into buy to let, and I guess going from there. I mean, I was looking through the emails and we had our first call like in February 23, I think,
2023.
which is
Yeah,
like 2 years,
2 years ago.
literally
Yeah,
2 years roughly. Time's flown by.
yeah.
Since then, you've bought two
I know. Do you know what I was thinking about as well?
on the
We
same
first
street.
moved, I was like, I want to buy three in a year.
Trying to outdo yourself.
I was like, I want to buy three by the end of the year,
Yeah.
um, which was obviously unrealistic, but
Well,
I bought two within a year,
done
kind
pretty
of.
good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good going.
So,
I mean, most people don't manage to pull the trigger on one at all, but you was like really quite adamant. Right, I'm buying Luke. We just need a couple calls, bit of mentoring, and I'm ready
yeah.
to go.
What I needed from you was just to be like, you can do it. I
Yeah.
just needed like that push and for
Mm.
just someone to just be like, you get it, you'll be okay. I'm
Yeah.
here if you need
Of
me.
course, because it's
Kind of
daunting,
thing.
isn't it? It's the unknown.
God, massive
And
commitment buying a house. Like it's crazy.
it's a lot of money. It's for most people, that's most of their savings, their nest egg, it can be daunting. I'm just going through it now with another lady, and she's constantly back and forth with me on WhatsApp, like, you know, am I doing the right thing? And I'm just like, just it'll be okay. Just take the step,
Yeah.
take the plunge, you'll be
Yeah.
okay. Things will work out. And they do always in the end over the long term, but yes, there can be some teething problems here and there, which is just
Yeah,
part
of
and parcel
course.
of it.
Yeah. Because also when I bought those two houses, I don't think I realized how much work they would need as
Mm,
well. So
mm,
the money that I thought I was going to have for the third house then just went into both of the two houses. But
yeah.
I was so lucky, like they're both on the same street.
Hmm.
It's like a really lovely, like really lovely street. Like when
It
I
is
was doing
nice.
this, like everyone would say, hello, like, do you need help? Like,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah. Like,
yeah,
so nice. So I
yeah,
really lucked out with my
yeah,
location.
yeah. And you learnt a lot, didn't you, from just getting your hands dirty and getting involved?
Yeah, but I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved it so much. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
no,
great.
always keep track of your Instagram stories and I see you putting the work in and I'm like, fair play to her, man. Some people don't even want to get their hands dirty, but that's not the case with you at all. You know, you're in there.
Yeah, I was literally like sleeping in the
Yeah,
cold.
that's part of the game now. I think it's good for people to do that, at least on the first one, because how do you learn otherwise, you know? Otherwise you
Yeah,
end up just paying loads of different tradesmen to do stuff and sometimes they can
yeah,
pull the wool over your eyes and jobs
yeah,
more
definitely.
expensive than
Especially as
you
well
actually.
when I'm like I was gonna say a girl, but I'm a young
Young
lady.
lady.
Yeah, and it's hard to like keep track as well when you're based in London
Mm,
and you're going back and forth,
yeah.
like tough.
Yeah. Juggling work as well.
Yeah, Monday to Friday, nine to
Yeah.
five.
Yeah. So what was you doing when you wanted to buy your first one? Because I know you're doing something similar now and you've moved on to a different role, haven't you? But
Yeah, so I'm actually still in telly.
yeah.
I am starting, well, I started a new job recently. So I was, when I first started this journey, I was a production coordinator.
Hmm.
And I've done like some junior production management
Hmm.
stuff. The role that I'm on now, is again a coordinator just because TV has not been great recently with
Okay.
just
Interesting.
like the channels not having any money, basically. So they're not commissioning loads of new shows.
Interesting.
Um, but yeah, I landed a new job at Warner Brothers
Result.
in August last year. It actually all worked really nicely because I was finishing up the second house
Hmm.
and then I had like a month off.
Hmm.
And then I started the new job. So it was all
Hmm.
like perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've just promoted me.
Go on,
Uh,
girl.
yeah. Yeah. So I actually start that new role in March, the beginning of March. So like literally in 2 weeks'
Great.
time.
Great.
Basically on a spin-off show that I'm already working on.
Yeah.
So very similar team and everything. So I'm going to be managing that, which is great for me.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm actually really enjoying work at the moment, which I think when we first spoke, I was like, I hate my job. Like I don't want
Well,
to do
yeah,
it.
maybe you'd been there a while. Maybe you was working, I don't know, more hours on
Yeah, it was
less.
really my old company. It was really tough because it was really small. Um, so like you just had to get stuck in with absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's like such a big, well-organized
Team.
machine that
Yeah.
like you have your own job and you have your job role and that's what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I have a great team around me as well. So
Makes it
I'm
easier for
really
you.
excited. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so much easier for me.
Well, Warner Bros. Are massive, aren't they? I mean, like,
Yeah.
that's a huge, huge brand
Yeah.
now, I guess, at this point, you know. So
Yeah.
one would imagine they would have their ducks in a row and have systems in place to
You would hope.
you would hope so at this point. No, that's really impressive that you're doing that and managing to juggle it all.
I was just like, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it.
Well, yeah, so many people. Like, I had a call with a guy yesterday, and he was like, he's been following our page for years, and he's like, he's had 30, 40 grand sitting in his account for all these years now, and he still hasn't taken the step. But it's like,
Yeah.
when will you? You know, it's the earlier you
Yeah.
get in, as you're realizing now, which we'll get onto. It's like you get to benefit from the appreciation quicker if you get in earlier, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just having that and taking that initial first step. And I think it's actually quite good that you move so quickly because now, if you look at some of the house price forecasts and that over the next few years, it's looking pretty good for where you invest, where I invest as well. So,
Yeah. That's the
what?
thing. You literally just have to believe in yourself and
Yeah,
take that risk.
absolutely.
You just have to take the risk.
Absolutely.
It is scary though. Like it is
Very
so
much
scary.
so.
And
Yeah.
like people ask me about it all the time and I'm like, yeah, I did it, but like I don't want you to take advice from me.
Yeah, unsolicited. You feel like it's unsolicited, even though you are in the game now.
Yeah.
Because most
Yeah.
people just have the money sitting in the bank, and I just think that can be like a bit deceiving sometimes. Like even the high interest savings accounts,
Yeah.
like inflation's normally not far off the interest that you're getting on that money.
Yeah.
And when you put it into assets or buy-to-lets, then you get much more of a return, don't you, compared to what you'd be getting. It's nowhere near the same.
The money that I had that I put on as a deposit down,
Hmm.
I had that locked into like a saving account for like 2 years. And I think like I made like 500 quid on it.
Yeah,
Like, and it's like
it's nowhere
nothing
near. Yeah,
compared to like what I've done, what I'm doing now, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's so much more of a aggressive vehicle for your money. I think
Yeah.
property. Like we always say, there's such a limited supply of them, and once you get in the game and you actually put it on the market and you see how many people are interested in renting it, and like you
Yeah.
mentioned to me, that message you sent when you got more than what you put it on
Yeah.
the
The
market
tenants
for.
wanted, they wanted to move in and they offered more
Yeah,
than the asking.
yeah.
So
Why not say
yeah.
yes? Obviously, you're going to say yes to that.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
isn't you dictating that, the situation. That's the market just dictating that because there isn't enough
Yeah.
stock for those people. And if they
Yeah.
find a good house that suits them in a good area, then they're going to pay more than what it's going for because they want it.
Yeah.
And there's not much option for them.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
um, okay, so the first one was bought in what, September 23,
Yeah,
around that sort of
yeah,
time?
about
Yeah,
August
around that sort of time.
2023.
And then by the time
Yeah,
you got the keys and all that stuff, you was
yeah,
probably there for the rest of the year doing up DIY Meg.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I think I finished that house in February
Hmm.
2023.
Hmm.
So not a huge turnaround time. Obviously, you're paying your mortgage and stuff and you're not getting any any income from that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I also spent like the whole of January in Blackburn, like working on location.
Hmm.
Um, So I went down a few weekends, but there wasn't that much to do. So I
Yeah.
employed mum and dad for a couple of
Good
weekends
old
to
mum and dad.
for
I bet they
me.
love that.
Yeah, do you know what they did? They really did enjoy it. Like they
Home's
used
under
to come
hammer
up
for
with
them.
me. They used to come up with me sometimes.
Yeah.
And we used to like bring the dog. I always used to take the dog, and it's
Love the
gorgeous
dog.
around where I bought like
It
all the
is.
hill, the mount, they call it the mountains,
They do,
but like
yeah.
stunning.
It
Like,
is. It is a really nice place to invest. Why did you choose Wales? Just out of curiosity. Obviously, you saw loads of my posts and you thought, oh, that is quite good
yes,
there. But there must
obviously.
have been other reasons as well, other than it being beautiful.
More so because I mean I did my research
Hmm.
on yields and
As you
appreciation
should. Yeah,
and everything. Obviously you was a big influence as
I'd like
well.
to think so. Yeah.
Um, and I looked at other places like
Hmm.
Derby and I think I looked at like Nottingham
Yeah.
and places
Yeah.
like that. And I don't know, I just Wales really drew to me. And like I've always loved Wales as well. Like I think
Yeah.
it's stunning.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there wasn't like I knew as well that I could afford more than one as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
So obviously the prices in Wales are,
Really
you know,
good.
I mean, I want to say affordable, but obviously it's not.
Well, it's relative, isn't it? But I mean,
Yeah,
like, in
yeah,
terms of making your money work as hard as possible for you, you probably would be looking at a little bit more expensive in Nottingham, not by much, but a little bit more. Maybe you wouldn't have been able to stretch to two and do the slight refurbs that you did as well, you know.
yeah, yeah,
And you're going to benefit from more from having two times appreciation than just the one and two times the rental income. So it was a
yeah,
good decision for sure.
yeah.
It's just mad how quick it's gone, really. Like most people don't buy two houses on the same street in such a short space of time. But I mean,
I
typical
was
Meg
viewing
style.
the first house and that one went up for sale. And I was like, I need to go and see it. I
Yeah,
was like, I can't let this opportunity pass me by because I
yeah,
always knew that I still had enough money to buy another one.
yeah.
So when it went up, I was like, I know the area really well. I know the
Hmm.
street really well. I really like the street.
Yeah.
So I just was like, I need to go and have a look at it.
Mhm.
Um, and it's funny because the second one was in such a nicer condition than the first one. It was
Relief.
just like the first one was a rented property before,
Hmm.
and you could tell like the landlord didn't care and kind of, patched a
Yeah.
lot of things
Bodged.
up. Yeah, whereas the second one, it was somebody's home and they looked after it and they cared for it and
Got
it was
you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
a lot less to
um,
know.
when I saw it, I put in an offer and it got declined, and I was like, it's fine, it's fine. And then I put in like a second offer, and I was just like, I'll just leave this on the table, kind of thing.
Hmm.
And it took a while for them to get back to me, but then they was like, "Oh, we accept your offer." I remember I was at work and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, forgot about it. I forgot I even offered on this.
What? And they was like, "Oh, you don't seem very happy." I was like, "No, no, no, no. I'm
Yeah, they expect you to like punch the sky, don't they, when they call you
I
like,
was just like, I was just a bit shocked.
yeah,
And then the thought as well of being like, oh my God, I have to go back to Wales.
yeah, the reality dawns on you and it's like, happy, but also more work to do now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I remember you sending me the picture of you being in the second house and showing me the first house down the road, and I was just like,
yeah, yeah,
this girl's not
yeah.
messing around at all.
Yeah, you can't sometimes.
No, no, and looking back now, it's a good decision because like the returns you're going to be getting from your money being in rather than out of the market is
Yeah,
great, isn't it?
yeah.
Have you so they're both rented out now, everything's all good.
Everything's all good. The first tenants have just renewed their contract for another year.
Nice.
Um, so that's good, and they're like a family.
Yeah, settled in.
Um, all settled in and
Lovely.
everything. So, and then the second house, it was actually quite hard. I found it quite hard to get that one rented, but
Mm-hmm.
I think because it didn't have a bath,
Okay.
and I think that just doesn't appeal to
Family.
families very much
Yeah.
with children.
Get the kids at the
But
bath.
I have they're like two cousins that are
Right.
in
Right.
and they obviously was the ones that offered more
Yeah.
to rent out. So I was
Yeah.
just like, go ahead. They had great references and
Yeah. Did you
yeah.
work with an agent or are you managing it yourself or?
So I was working with an agent, but I've
Hmm.
given them my 6 month notice.
Hmm.
The notice period is insane.
Hmm.
Um, so I need to now get my landlord's license
Rent
and
Smart Wales and all that stuff.
yeah, so that's all now in the motion because I'm paying them for two houses and like that's quite a big chunk of my profit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, when we first spoke, we talked about me managing them.
We
And I
did.
was just a bit like, I definitely want to do it, but I
Yeah.
just didn't know if I could do it straight away.
Yeah. I
Um,
remember.
so I got Peter Allen, they're managing it for me, but
Hmm.
I've realized they're actually not that good. So
I mean, they're one of the bigger brands in the area, but
yeah,
you wouldn't be the
yeah,
first person to say that to me, and they're deciding to manage it themselves. It's just they're not doing loads that you couldn't do yourself. Like I always said to you, you're more than capable of doing it, but
yeah,
I just think you had a lot of work on, didn't you? And it was
yeah,
maybe
exactly. I
a
had a
bit
lot going
much.
on. And I just wanted to concentrate on getting the houses finished and
Hmm.
done. And then, yeah, so I've given him my notice. So I need to get all my stuff together. And obviously, 6 months, it gives you a long period of time to just
Yeah,
build up whatever
yeah,
you need.
yeah.
And
I didn't know it took 6 months to get out of a contract with them.
yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy. I guess they're just trying to lock in their
Yeah,
this, aren't they? But
yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. You live and you learn, and that's like just a stepping stone. Now you'll be able to do it yourself.
yeah.
I'm always here to help you out with all that sort of stuff as well. So I'm sure you'll be fine. So have you managed to get them valued at all? Do you know like roughly if any of them have crept up in value? I think the first one will be worth a bit more than what you paid for it, for sure.
I actually haven't, but I was talking to my parents about this the other day.
Hmm.
And they was like, surely it's gone up in price, but I actually haven't. I
Yeah.
should, I
Yeah,
should,
for sure. Like you should look like most agents will go and value it, like give you a rough valuation if they think they're going to be involved in a sale. So you could just call around a couple
yeah,
and get it valued. But even on Zoopla, they got quite good data on there where you can type in your
yeah.
sign in and maybe get a rough estimate. But I would imagine, how much did you pay for it? 150 or something like that? 120?
127.5.
127? Yeah, I'd imagine it would be at least 150. It's a three bed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite big as well.
Yeah, I think it's like
Probably.
88
Yeah.
square.
Yeah.
That's quite
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds about right. So I reckon
massive garden. Massive.
massive garden. You can park outside.
Yeah.
Was that the first floor bathroom one, or did it have the downstairs WC as well?
Mm. Yeah, so the first one had an upstairs WC
Mm-hmm.
and the second one has downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I think off the top of my head, if it's anything like some of mine, then I reckon that's going to be worth 155 around that sort of price point, maybe
Maybe
160.
go and get them valued now.
I think you should, yeah, because there's new rates and that now as well from when you first got on. I know you got on quite a good mortgage, didn't you, at the
Yeah,
time?
I did. Yeah.
Which I was quite impressed with. You got a really good interest rate on that, but there's lots of other lenders now being competitive and fighting for the business of obviously
Yeah.
being a lender on those types of assets. So I think it'd be good to shop around and see. And it would just be a case of you getting a new mortgage against the new value, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't really change your interest payments that much. I mean, some of mine going up like 50 quid a month, something like that, if I get a new mortgage, which is more than
Yeah.
I can cover that with the rent that's increased obviously over time as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to get the money back out, which we've put in, obviously to go and buy another one, it
Yeah.
could be an option, and you're still keeping 25% in there. So
Yeah.
you still got your chunk in there of
Yeah.
equity. It's just when you go up to like 35, 40% of equity, I think where we're still relatively young at this point in life, not quite over the hill yet, I think you should be a bit more aggressive with it and use the money and go and buy another one.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone is always like to me, when are you buying the third one? And I'm like, I'm just taking a break. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
need
yeah. Well, maybe the next one can be literally like ready to go. Like you haven't got to
Yes,
do hardly anything.
that would be great too.
Yeah, and maybe it doesn't have to be on the exact same street. Maybe it could be like a
Yeah.
couple
I'm
roads
just
away.
waiting. That's what I'm doing. I'm just waiting for another
You're
house
waiting
to
for another one. I knew you was waiting to
go.
buy the whole street if you had it your way.
Yeah, I mean, when I was doing the second one, there was another house that went up for sale, and
Yeah,
I didn't go and look at it, but I looked at it online, and
yeah,
it was like up there for like 160, and that's like
yeah,
that was 2 doors away from mine.
yeah.
So
Same type of house.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so that already gives you a bit of an indication as to how much your one's gonna be worth, really.
yeah, yeah,
Obviously, if it was in slight better condition, sometimes people
yeah,
get a
yeah,
bit optimistic with the initial price, but someone might end up paying 155, 153 or something
yeah,
for it. But that's still a huge bit of appreciation that you've had in such a short space of time. It's only been what, 2 years, 2 and a bit years from the
yeah.
first one,
One and a bit,
one and a bit.
one and a bit, one
Yeah,
and a half. Yeah,
yeah, which is nuts. 18 months.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So you could wait till, did you do a 2 year fix or did you do a 5 year fix on the mortgage? Can you remember?
I
Can't remember.
can't
I'm asking you too many mortgage questions.
head. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I
Yeah.
feel like both of them were different.
Hmm.
I feel like the first one may have been 2 and the second one may have been 5.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's just you can always end the term early. It just means you have to pay like a redemption fee
Right.
per early year you get a new mortgage basically. But if you had a 2 year fixer, and it might be good to just wait until that two
Yeah.
year
Well,
term's
yeah, it would
done.
only be later this year.
Yeah. But you've got a broker, haven't you? So it might
Yeah.
be worth having that conversation towards the end of this year, with the view of getting money out and potentially getting your third one. And
Yeah. Do you know what? This is also something I've not really thought about too much either
hmm
because I was
hmm
just so invested. All my time was just like
yeah, 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 of course.
doing it. And then do you know what? When I moved from the other company,
Hmm
I was actually being made redundant. It wasn't
hmm
like my personal
Wasn't
like
your
choice.
choice, right?
And it was like the worst timing ever because I was just finishing off the second house and all your money kind of goes into those houses. I was literally living like paycheck to
Yeah,
paycheck kind of
yeah,
thing. And
yeah.
then I was like, this is the worst time ever. And the TV industry is like awful.
Why is
Um,
that? Is that just because everyone's doing more online now, YouTube, making their
yeah,
own?
so exactly. Everyone's like channels are commissioning just for like their YouTube channels and
Yeah,
stuff, and like the
yeah.
budgets are a lot smaller.
But the attention
Um,
changed from watching TV to.
yeah, exactly. And like Channel 4 was going through this whole like new CEO thing, and
Hmm
they didn't want to commission anything.
hmm
So yeah, it's just not great time for telly. And
No.
I mean, for my job, like the production side, it's a lot
Yeah,
easier. For like editorial people, it's
yeah,
like kind of like the guys that work in TV are like out
workload.
of work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is crazy because they're skilled individuals. Like,
Yeah. And they're all freelancers, so
yeah,
it's really tough. So I was panicking about
of
not
course.
having another job.
How am I going to eat?
But then it worked out okay. I
Yes.
got offered like three other jobs, so
Yeah, well, skilled people always end up getting work, right? But I guess
yeah.
it's nice to have that backup, knowing you've got, the best part of, I don't know, 700, 800 pound coming in passively, relatively passively, which is amazing. That's like mostly half or a third of a lot of people's salary coming in passively, which is a really privileged position to be in. And that's all because of the decisions that you made 18 months ago, which is great. So it must be nice to start to see it pay off.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to my younger self.
Yes. Well, it's good. It's good that you had that in you to do it. Because, like I said, people get scared to pull the trigger, and the time
Yeah,
waiting doesn't help, being outside of the market. You learn so much from being in it. And
yeah.
you get to the stage where you're at now, where everything's rented and a lot of the stress must seem worth it now that you went through.
Yeah, definitely. I don't feel like I was ever in like any like really
No,
crazy stress.
no.
I don't know if stress is right, but I was like very tired all the
Yeah.
time.
Well, you're working, you're driving down to
Yeah,
Wales, you're stripping
yeah,
walls. I'm seeing you stripping walls back, you're painting,
yeah. I
you're
was
walking the dog.
tired 24. Like I
Yeah.
was never okay.
No, no. And going back to that whole like work-life balance and having a bit of time to
Yeah.
yourself, it
There
is
was no time.
no.
There was,
And
I mean, I
sometimes,
still like fit in a couple of holidays here and there,
yeah, I
but
see you bouncing around, going different places and stuff, but you have to have that time to sort of unload as well and just be
yeah,
free and let your mind sort of relax a bit. But
yeah,
I think there's times in life when we have to sort of throw everything in and be like
yeah.
that in that stage, and
It
it's
was
only
a
temporary,
massive,
isn't it?
yeah, it was like such a big commitment and a
Yeah,
massive dedication.
yeah.
Like, I was just like, if I take weekends off to like, go away or like,
Hmm.
do do some like even just
Hmm.
do something in London or whatever with friends or whatever. I was
Yeah,
like, that's a week longer that the house is not going to get finished. That
yeah.
tenant
Mortgage is coming out.
for the mortgage.
Yeah, 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 for
So
sure. But
it was a
sometimes,
lot of sacrifice.
yeah, yeah, it was sacrifice, but it's temporary, isn't it? It's a bit of temporary
Yeah,
pain to be in a position where you're at now, where you have that passive income coming in, and you can just relax a bit more now, and wait for your next opportunity to buy another one.
yeah,
You don't have to, I guess. I know you probably do still work very hard, but it just gives you that extra comfort blanket of like, okay, if I wanted to not work as many hours, I
yeah.
kind of could if I wanted to. And a lot of people don't have that option.
Yeah, that is still the plan.
Mm.
I just have to like get promoted again, but that won't happen for a while.
Hmm.
It's like when you become sort of a production manager in TV, all
Hmm.
production managers, they only work 4 days a week.
Right.
Nobody works a full week.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah. So when I get to a proper like experienced production manager,
Yeah.
well, I'll work 5 days a week if I don't need to.
No, no, you go and walk the dog,
Walk the dog.
relax,
Gym. Yeah.
go gym, go Muay Thai, bounce around a holiday like I always see you doing, living the good life.
Yeah, I try.
No, you do. You make it look good. So lessons learned. Lessons learned. Then do you feel like you've learned a bit from this? And I guess the future goals going forward is just more of the same, and maybe buy one more later on in the year or next year.
Yeah, I would love to buy another one at some point. Maybe not this year. I feel like I just need a full solid year.
Decompress, decompress.
Yeah, yeah, just to get the energy back to go again.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the plan is the same as when we first spoke
Hmm.
eventually I would love to make this like my full-time, job, but
Hmm.
I know that's not gonna, well, full-time job, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, landlady,
But you're not,
landlady.
yeah. Um,
Not too soon though. You want to do it as and when. Not. You don't
exactly.
want to make that
Yeah.
step
Like
too.
I'm enjoying my work. Like I enjoy my job. So
Yeah.
it's not,
So
yeah.
yeah, if you enjoy it, then it's great. It's a great position to be in. You got two things going at
Yeah.
the same time, which is brilliant. I only encourage people to, I guess, not do their job if they're not enjoying it, you know. But if you're enjoying it, then that's amazing. You're getting the best of both worlds, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm out of questions for you today. It's been lovely getting a chance to catch up with you.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we haven't spoken properly in
No,
ages.
we haven't. We haven't. I've been busy. You've been busy. Life's been happening. Um, so yeah, it's been great catching up and finding out exactly how things have gone. I've enjoyed it. And I'll message you after on WhatsApp so we can touch base. I probably need to get a photo off of you, one of your favorite ones for the thumbnail.
How exciting.
How exciting, yes. And yeah, I'll WhatsApp you and we'll speak soon.
Yeah, Braille sounds good.
Yeah, and if you need any help, just drop us a message with the management as well. You know, I'm always here to point you in the right direction and help you out with
I'm
that stuff.
sure I'll be in touch
Yeah,
about
you need to get your Rent Smart Wales license done, but that's quite straightforward. It's just like multiple choice. It's
yeah,
quite easy. You'll smash that. It's really simple.
yeah. Cool.
All right, well enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. I'm off to the gym.
Are you?
Yeah.
Love it on a Sunday. You feel bad now?
Yeah, have to.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. I think I've got a couple more calls today and then roast dinner for me, chilling out.
Nice.
All right, Meg. Well, we'll speak soon. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Take care.
You too. Speak to you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.